What does it mean to have confidence? Or what does it mean to be confident? Especially when it comes to getting dressed and to dress with purpose. Well, today we're going to talk all about that. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Dress with Purpose podcast. My name is Amanda Hall. I am your personal stylist, and today we're talking all things confidence. And what does that have to do with what it means to dress with purpose? So first off, let's define what confidence and confident are. So the first part of what confidence can mean, and this is from good old Merriam Dictionary. 1, a feeling or consciousness of one's power or of reliance on one's circumstances. So there's 2 examples they give. Had perfect confidence in her ability to succeed. 2nd, meet the risk with brash confidence. B, faith or belief that one will act in the right and proper or effective way. The example, have confidence in a leader. Number 2, a quality or state of certainty. They had every confidence of success. Then the third one, a relation of trust or intimacy. Took his friend into his confidence. B, a reliance on another's discretion. The story was told in the strictest of confidence. C, support, especially in a legislative body. Vote of confidence. And you may have seen that a little bit on the news lately. 4, a communication made in confidence. Accused him of betraying a confidence. So there are 4 different meanings or definitions to the word confidence. So we won't focus too much on 3 and 4. Let's talk about 1 and 2, mostly talking about a feeling or a consciousness of one's powers or reliance on one's circumstances, a faith or belief that one will act in the right and proper and effective way, the quality of a state of being certain. So let's talk about that. Okay, sorry, let's do this too. Let's define confident, D-E-N-T. So the first definition is full of conviction, confident of success, confident that conditions will improve. The second meaning, having or showing assurance and self-reliance. A confident young businessman in a confident manner. So we're going to kind of blend the first couple of definitions of confidence and the second definition or the second meaning of confident when it comes to getting dressed. So let's go back to the first episode that we talked about creativity and self-expression. Now, I talked a little bit about confidence in those areas, but let's kind of get into it a little bit more. So creativity, self-confidence or confidence or being confident in your creativity. So if we were to say someone who is very creative, they may dress confidently by mixing lots of colors. Maybe they take bold patterns and implement bold patterns and mixing of patterns in the way they're getting dressed. But creativity to me would mean, okay, how do I take my classic basic wardrobe and insert my creativity to that? Maybe it's with jewelry, maybe with accessories, but there are different ways to express creativity. And it's having the confidence to know and be comfortable in your creativity. Now, there have been times, at least for me, that I've gotten dressed, I look in the mirror, I feel great with what I'm wearing, and then I step outside the door and I go, what was I thinking when I put this outfit on? Right? And so that has to do with our confidence and that assurance, that belief that when we walk out the door, that when we look and feel our best, that we are portraying we look and feel our best. But if we're not confident in what we put on our body, that can easily wane. Now, a lot of that, that's how the best way to say this, is that pullback in confidence is really more rooted in fear. We look in the mirror and we're like, oh, wow, I feel really good today. I feel like this is an outfit that is really going to carry me through the day. I feel confident. I feel comfortable. I feel like I can attack the day. And we walk out the door and we get inundated with the world and the messages of the world. And so really, we have to continue to walk in that confidence and not allow the fear of what others are going to think of us or what situations or circumstances may arise. We need to maintain that confidence all the way through. And so when it comes to creativity, that can be a big fear. You look and feel your best, you've put all this creative energy into the way you've gotten dressed, and you step out the door and you start doubting. And really that is fear. So I really want you to think about, with the way that you get dressed and however creativity looks for you and how you show up in getting dressed, that you're really truly applying your own confidence to that. Now, it's great. I have my sister-in-law staying with me for a few days, and I was talking about this podcast and how I was going to be talking about confidence. And she said, well, I don't have any confidence. Now, that I hear a lot. And in fact, I've struggled with that my entire life, pretty much. Now, was I really struggling with my confidence or was I really struggling with fear? It was both, but as I've learned to be more confident and more competent and realize that the way I am created is uniquely and fearfully and wonderfully made, I have my own uniqueness to bring to the way I get dressed and the way I show up and the way I walk out in the world. And how I dress, visually communicating that. And so we think we don't have confidence, yet we also have to remind ourselves that we are confident. It's allowing the fear of what others might think or say or do in response to that, to what we're wearing, allow that to rob our confidence. So that's a little bit about how confidence impacts creativity. Now, self-expression. You would think those maybe kind of go hand in hand together, but self-expression, I see self-expression as the way you carry yourself, the way you express yourself. I talk with my hands. If you were to hold my hands together, I would probably have a hard time putting a sentence together. I'm dying to pull my hands apart right now. So self-expression is the way that you express yourself when you go out. It's your facial expressions, it's your body language, that's self-expression and how confidence impacts that, right? And so when you walk out the door and you look and feel your best, you express confidence in the way you talk, in the way you present yourself, your body language, the way you smile, the way your eyes light up. That's all part of confidence showing up in your self-expression. Now, like my sister-in-law and I were talking about, confidence is really
a state that we have to learn to be more confident, to accept really who we are and accept that in our everyday life. Most of us aren't the size we want to be. Most of us don't like the way we look. Most of us, don't really like to look in the mirror when we get dressed. We just throw on stuff to get out the door and be okay with that. And part of what it means to dress with purpose is to really take a step back and look at that, because you really should feel good, whatever size you are, whatever position in life you are, whatever circumstances are surrounding you. And there are circumstances that are hard. And sometimes you just have to walk through them confidently and boldly, and they look messy. So really, confidence, in my opinion, is something that we learn. It's something that we have to integrate. It almost becomes a habit. It has to become part of who you are. Confidence is humility. It's humbleness. It's the ability to know when you need to assert a confidence or whether you need to hold back, but still maintaining your confidence. So now let's talk about, we talked a little bit about last week with goals and aspirations and values and beliefs about confidence and the goals and the values that you have. Goals and the way you approach your aspirations, your dreams. There have been many times in my life that my confidence in my dreams have not held water. And really, if you think about that, it's more a fear than it is confidence. I've learned things, I've done things, I've accomplished things, and I am learning to be more confident in those things. Now, I'm dyslexic, I struggle to read, and so there's a lot of things that I've allowed to hinder my confidence when it comes to setting goals or having aspirations or dreams. And when I have stopped and taken a look at that, I have to remind myself of what I have accomplished. And that's when the confidence comes into how I show up and get dressed when it comes to getting dressed with purpose, and how my goals and inspirations impact that. Now, there are times where I had to fake it till I made it. Getting on camera and talking and filming the videos that I film, showing up in my makeup videos with no makeup on, 54 years old, I have to be okay with who I am. I have to be confident. I'm humble and I have a lot of humility because I've been through a lot of things in life. And I just know that my goals are to help others feel good and confident about themselves. And for me, that is what it means to dress with purpose, is to be confident in the outfits that you put together, the complete package, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's the whole package. You are a whole package. You are a complex, beautiful, wonderful woman. You are created as a woman. And so having confidence when it comes to your goals and aspirations is important in the way you dress. And we talked a lot about that last week, so I won't go too much more into that. But when it comes to your values and beliefs and the confidence that we express when we get dressed, we all have a set of values that we've learned from our family or that we've grown up with. There are additional beliefs that come in as we become adults and as we start to age and mature. And those values and beliefs have impact on how we get dressed. Now, how we present ourselves to the world. Just because you creatively express yourself through bold patterns and color doesn't take anything away from the fact that the way I creatively show up is in classic colors, black, gray, white. Our values don't shift by the way we dress. Our values show up through our self-expression. They show up through the confidence and the competence that we carry ourselves with when we get dressed, with a way that makes us feel good about ourselves. So that's how it kind of shows up with our values and beliefs. For me, I have a little more of a conservative belief, so I dress a little more conservatively. There are women out there that they don't need to be as conservative as I do. And that's okay. We all have our place to be in the world, and our values and beliefs impact our confidence and how we appear and put ourselves out there. So let's talk about the non-confidence and not having confidence, like my sister-in-law and I were talking about. And she said, I don't still have any confidence. And I did say, I truly believe that confidence is learned. It's when we allow the negative self-talk. Oh, I don't like the way my body looks. I don't like the weight I'm at right now. I don't like my nose. I don't like my ears. I don't like this, that, or whatever about how we look. When we allow that to impact us, that chips away at our confidence. It chips away, it cuts away. And the more negatively we talk to ourselves, like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't, why would anybody want to listen to me? Why would, what I wear make a difference to anybody? And in that, you need to start to learn how getting dressed every single day and showing up, expressing your creativity, expressing yourself through your body language and your smiles and the light in your eyes, knowing that you do have goals and aspirations, and not allowing the fear of what others think, family, whatever it is, whatever fear that is that stops you from chasing after your goals and aspirations. Or maybe you're afraid of your values and beliefs. They're not, maybe they're just not as apparent as you thought that they were, and you struggle in that area. I just find that this is my experience. I had to stop talking negatively about myself. I had to be okay with this postmenopausal body. I'm okay with buying a size 12 pant. I'm okay with getting a large top. I'm okay with who I am right now. Does that mean I don't have goals to maybe lose 5 or 10 pounds? Absolutely. And am I starting to take measures, or have I been taking measures in that department? Yes, but it is not an area that I criticize myself over or that stops me from being me and showing up as me. So a couple of things I want you to really think about and ask yourself. Last week I said, show up with your pen and paper, and I really wanted you to journal a couple things. And so here are a few things that the journey that I went through. And honestly, this wasn't that long ago that I really had this metamorphosis, this change of how I felt about myself. And it really took me getting down and being pretty broken and really having to take a look at myself. Now, I am a woman of faith, and God and my faith had a big part in that. But I think these principles or applications apply irregardless of that. The first thing I want you to think about is, how do you perceive yourself? How do you think of yourself? If you were to stand and look in the mirror, what would you say about yourself? Would you condemn yourself? Would you put yourself down? What would you say about yourself? Now, for me, when I looked in the mirror, I saw somebody who couldn't read, who struggled expressing herself, who felt like she needed to be someone other than who she was, that she wasn't very attractive. She, just struggled overall with feeling confident and good about myself. And so what is it that you're telling yourself when you look in the mirror? And for me, it was not pretty, the things that I said to myself and the way I felt about myself. And so I really want you to think about those things, and I want you to write them down. Writing for me has always been kind of it's a cathartic exercise, for one, but two, it visually makes me see differently. So I wrote down all the things that I thought about myself and that were holding me back. And then each of those words I had about myself, I went and looked up the definition of them, and I went through the process one by one of looking at those words and really shifting my perspective of who I am. And it took a little while. It took a little while to get there. I'll be honest. It took probably a year to get through that whole list. I mean, I had a lot of baggage that came with me for 52-ish years that I had to walk through. And so I want you to go and I want you to write down all those things you say about yourself. And I really want you to think about, what would you tell your daughter? What would you tell your friend if they came to you and said, here, this is how I think of myself? You would tell them, oh my gosh, how could you think of yourself that way? I see this about you. You're an amazing woman. I want you to have that feeling about yourself and not allow yourself to have those negative thoughts, to have that negative view of yourself when you look in the mirror. And it is going to take some work. You have to be willing to walk through some stuff to get to that point. But I really do want you to take the time to write it down. Then secondly, I want you to then write the things that are good about you, that are great about you, that are special about you, that are unique to you. Now, if you're living in the world of all those other words, it's going to be harder to get to these words. But what you may have to do is take it to a friend. Say, hey, this is what I think. Well, how do you see me? Ask your friends, how do they see you? And write those down, and start asking yourself, why does how I see myself and how my friend sees me, why are those so vastly different? And it's in that process of going through how you talk to yourself and how others see you, melding those together is really truly where that confidence starts to really become a firm foundation in who you are. It's getting rid of the old baggage, getting rid of the old messaging, the old things that you think about yourself. Bringing in the new things, accepting the things that people think about you, that they know about you, that they see about you, and really becoming that confident woman. It's that learning process. It's that state of really beginning to know who you are. Now, as a woman of faith, the Christian world sees the new age self-awareness thing as a bad thing. And I would say that becoming self-aware and knowing who we are makes us discover how God uniquely created us to be. And if we don't know who we are, it's difficult to know who God is because his character is woven throughout our beings, right? And so that's part of discovering our identities and being aware of who we are. So I believe it's part of us discovering who we are so that we can discover more of who God is. And that's important to me. And my identity and who I am now gets to be confidently expressed through the way I get dressed every day. Now, Dress with Purpose for me started back in 2012. Me basically sitting in my closet and crying, like, what am I going to do? I was an empty nester. My identity as a mom had kind of gone by the wayside, and I was, what is my value? What is my worth? And it wasn't until 2020 that I really got to work on that stuff and really got to work on who I am outside of all my titles, mom, wife, daughter, sister, and who I am. Who am I? What is my value and worth? And how do I show up in the world? So I know I got a little bit off there, but I believe that becoming aware of who we are, all the good things about ourselves, all the not so good things about ourselves, is important in building that foundation and building that confidence that won't waver, that won't be impacted by the fear and the negativity that is in the world or in your world, whether it's your work world, whether it's family world, whatever it is. You have now this firm foundation of who you are as a person, and you have this confidence that at times will be challenged, at times will be a struggle, at times is not going to be easy. Life is not easy. And so when you have built that foundation of confidence in knowing who you are and knowing that you're beautiful and you're amazing just the way you are, whatever size that is, whatever age that is, whatever your circumstances are, that doesn't change the ultimate heart of you, who you are as a person. It's how, when we hit setbacks, it's how we get up and respond and move forward that starts to build confidence. It's that process. It's a journey. We are on a journey together. We are on this path of life together. It's a very short life in the scheme of things. So it truly is my passion and my heart that you would see yourself the way others see you, that you see yourself as beautiful and wonderful
and competent and smart and whatever is the opposite of what you're telling yourself, that you actually deserve to be confident in who you are, to know that you're your own kind of beautiful. You're your own unique person, that you have gifts and talents and things that maybe someone has the same talents as you, but you show up in a whole different way than them. To not get caught up in the comparison of what somebody else is doing. Do I envy a woman who can get dressed and wear bold patterns and colors and mix those? Absolutely. I admire them for being able to do that. But I also admire myself for being able to show up who I am. That I am more classic, a little more conservative, but that's me. And I get to admire and applaud the other woman who can be herself in the way that she gets dressed and the way that she shows up in the world. So for me, that's truly what confidence and confident women are. Now, you can appear confident, but when we see a woman who is boisterous and isn't very self-aware of themselves, we can spot that. And it's not really confidence that they're showing, it's their insecurities. And so that's why I think it's so important that we get to know who we are, and why building a firm foundation of confidence in who we are as women, no matter the age, no matter the size, that is when we can truly show up confident and walk with creativity, self-expression, know that our goals and aspirations are out there and we can achieve them, that our values and beliefs can impact us in a positive way and can show up, and we can go out in the world and truly dress with purpose. We can visually communicate with the way we get dressed, who we are, and that's amazing. That's fantastic to be able to walk into a room and know who you are and know that I am dressed because this is me. I love, one of my favorite songs from The Greatest Showman is the song This Is Me. And I would encourage you to listen to that song. And in the movie, the Greatest Showman is all about the misfits, right? It's all about the people who are different, who had unique things about them that the world looked at as negative. But it's learning that those are those unique things that make us special and that make us amazing. So I want you to really walk through the process and go through the journey to build a confident and confidence foundation in who you are. And as you do that, and as you move through that, you will build this confidence that when you walk out the door, nothing is going to stop you, girl. And that's the confidence that I want you to walk out with. And that's the confidence, what it means to dress with purpose. You're going to go out and be purposeful that day and accomplish everything that you have set your mind to accomplish. So I encourage you really, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, to walk through those questions, to see your responses, to see what other people say about you, and truly learn to accept the things that people see about you that you don't see in yourself. And I want you to walk confidently and boldly, and I want you to dress with purpose. And that's why I say at the end of my video, you get to choose every day to dress with purpose, because it is a choice. Confidence is a choice. How we show up in the world is a choice. And the more we get to know ourselves, the better those choices become.
So remember that you get to choose every day to dress with purpose. Okay, so that was a huge topic to talk about. So next week, we are going to be starting a series called Ageless Elegance. And we are going to talk about all things style. We're going to take a look at some history of style. We're going to talk about what it means to have style and what styles are out there and how style impacts us at every age. So that makes us Ageless Elegance. Subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified when podcasts go live, and join me on this journey to dress with purpose.